Yeah, it's Cash. Get him. DJ Deuce McGuire, this hot as a log fire. Spark the lighter in the 303. We wrestle at the quarry. Golden, Colorado. Mercury Pro Wrestling Academy. Elevated wrestling. Yeah. Hashtag follow if you know the motto. Can't stop now. Got the need for speed. Combustion and concussion. Championships in my vision. I put the key in the ignition. Such an easy decision. I got a hustler's ambition. Wrestling at its best. Welcome to the show I put on for Rocky Mountain Pro. Let's go.
RMP Radio is back on the air. Hi, I am your host, Mr. Fourth Row, and joining me once again, I've got Severino Corrente. Severino, how you doing?
I'm doing all right, Artie. How are you doing?
I'm doing just fine. So, we got you on here to talk about, if people do not know, and they should know, the most recent visit from AEW, All Elite Wrestling. You got to have a AEW Dark match against Jimmy Havoc. So first, tell the listeners about how did that all come about? I understand Mercury Matt Yaden from the owner of Rocky Mountain Pro kind of got in contact with AEW, kind of gave AEW some suggestions, and you were one of the few that kind of got a little bit of a look from AEW. How'd that go?
It went really well. I was not able to do the WWE Extra Talent the few times they've been out here. First time I was overseas on traveling. The second time, the personal life just kept me away from it. So I finally had a little bit of free time and the opportunity to take advantage of the situation. Mercury Matt was the point of contact through Rocky Mountain Pro. And it's through the school as well. We're on the radar of these companies for a reason. And it was just a very simple process of give us some names. And myself, Dustin Uric-Atiba, Heidi Howitzer, and Abaddon were all slated to get in there and, get an opportunity if one could present itself.
Awesome. That's very cool. So, did they? I'm assuming you got sent some of your photos, match highlights, highlight reel, things of that nature.
Honestly, no. They just took the names, they took the suggestions, and we were put in. And they know who we are. They've seen our stuff. There's no way they would just reach out and go, oh yeah, just bring these 5 in, no problem. So they've absolutely seen our product. But there wasn't a big tryout process to go be Extra Talent for them. There wasn't a lot of give and take, not a lot of rigmarole. It was very simple. Got our physicals, got the necessary medical stuff done, and we showed up, and it just went from there. The girls were able to get in there and do a little bit of training before it all started off. But myself, Dustin, and Atiba, we were show up at noon and be ready.
Awesome, cool. All right, so what was it like getting there and like you said at noon at the First Bank Center, and how did those first steps kind of go? Who did you meet? Did you have any fantastic interactions between any of the head people that we might know and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, we got in there. QT Marshall was the point of contact for the Extra Talent. He was the guy that met us. And I've never done Extra Talent for the WWE, but I've been told it's very regimented. It's very, very professional. It's step by step, very laid out. This was and I was very surprised. This was a very just calm environment, very relaxed. It honestly felt like just a normal, regular show. Guys were coming and going through catering. As the day progressed, I was able to meet and shake hands and kind of just chat with guys like Arn Anderson, Jim Ross, Jake Roberts, Dustin Runnels, Goldust, just a whole slew of those guys that I grew up watching. Taz was very, very giving as well. It was an overall it blew my expectations away at how welcoming everyone really could be.
Oh, that's fantastic. So, did you kind of get the impression that anybody was able to got a lot of of your introduction of you, with your matches, your your body of work so far, and was like really excited to see you, and and then of course foreshadowing get you out there.
Well, the only reason, and I'm fairly confident that the reason I got this match was the referee there, Aubrey Edwards, who was doing a phenomenal job. Actually, before she was signed, was doing a tour across the country, and she refereed a match between myself and Mercury Yaden. And we just went out there for 15 and had just a ball, worked loose, had some fun. It was a good crowd. And she got in the back and was so excited. She said she was very forthcoming. She was like, that was one of the most fun matches I've done. And I remember after I'd found out I was going to be wrestling Jimmy, she walked up to me and was like, good luck. I put in a good word for you. So taking that, I was like, it goes to show you. Network, know who you know, try and make lasting impressions, not only in wrestling, but in real life. And who knows where those will take you.
Yeah, that's very true. Because like you mentioned, we've had Aubrey out here at Rocky Mountain Pro quite a few times refereeing matches, and let's talk about her for just a moment since you kind of brought her up. I mean, it's fantastic seeing her where she's gotten, because not only is I don't think she got in because she's a woman, but because she's a damn good ref.
Yeah, to say she got in as a female ref is silly.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of any they're there because they're women and they're there because of no. People get into those positions because of talent. She obviously works hard. I've only obviously had her ref one of my matches, but she was added to the match. She was phenomenal, because a referee is just as important as the two wrestlers in the ring. If you have a bad referee, it can absolutely derail a match instantaneously. So the AEW had a great opportunity to sign her, and I think she's been nothing but a plus for that promotion, for their TV product, for everything.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And she's referee, and she's not necessarily, she's being humble. She's ref the top matches and everywhere in between.
Yeah, that's the beautiful thing. There's not the best thing I can say about that locker room. There didn't seem to be any, and I've only been one time, so who knows? I could be completely off base. However, with that being said, there was no cliquey behavior. Everyone was joking and just relaxing and having a good time and doing their own things. It was very. It honestly just felt like I was in the Rocky Mountain Pro locker room, just a relaxed environment. No one was off by themselves, and no one was like big dogging anyone. Everyone was just kind of together. It felt very like a big family vibe.
Yeah, that's great. So from the time that you started, that you got there and started prepping, to possibly get on the card and everything for AEW Dark, what was it like, those steps, the anticipation of are they gonna pick me? Are they gonna pick me? What was all that like?
Honestly, Abaddon was slated first. So we were just kind of giving her motivation, just, keeping her loose so she wouldn't get too nervous. And then QT just walked up to us, pointed at me, and went, all right, you're going to be working tonight. All right. And Jimmy Havoc, you guys will talk it through. And was there some nerves at a point? Yes and no. Honestly, my job was going to be simple there. Go out there, really make one of their guys, try and make him look as good as possible, do my job. And it's not like I was going out there with someone who didn't know how to wrestle.
Right.
It's Jimmy effing Havoc, for God's sakes. Man knows how to work. The guy, that European style I take a lot of pride in trying to replicate myself. And he was a pro. He's a pro's pro. And so I knew it was going to be simple. I knew it would be easy, and I was right.
Yeah, and additionally, he's got experience on the production side and all that stuff like that. So that was great to get out there. I'd assume with him that kind of knew the whole gambit of let's know how to make this look good.
Yeah, and we had Dustin Reynolds was our agent they call them coaches, but it's the agent of the match, and
Yeah.
Dustin just let Jimmy do his thing and just go out there, make him look strong. And I had no problem doing that. Like, I really didn't like and they were a little worried. And I get it. At first, there was some leeriness, and I get it. These guys have been doing this, sport for decades compared to me. And they've probably run across a lot of guys that come in and they get worried about, oh, you're going to make me look weak, or, oh, you're going to do this, or, oh, blah. No, it's telling a story and it's filling a role. And if I do my job well there, they will notice that. So that was just my whole goal. Let's go there, do what they asked me to do, and make sure that everyone was satisfied by the end of the night. And I accomplished all of that.
Right. So what was it like, getting to meet Jimmy Havoc and start to talk over the match of what you guys were going to do?
Jimmy, again, I got really nothing negative I can say about the guy. Pro's pro. He was trying to put things together and make it as fluid as possible. Accomplished the goal of making himself look good. He was, I will say, at the beginning, again, a little leery. He doesn't know me. He doesn't know what my goals are, what I'm going to do. So during getting ready, it was a little bit more professional. And afterwards, I walked up to him, and he was very happy with me. He seemed satisfied. He, was very thankful. And Jimmy, I have nothing negative to say about the guy. I like his work. I like how he wrestles. He was, safe with everything. I'm not going to get on here and shit on the guy or do a shoot or anything, because there's just nothing negative to say about it.
Right. Yeah. Very, very true. So let me ask you about this. So your match happened after the main card for Dynamite. They did do one dark match before the show. Then they did the Dynamite, and then they did yours afterwards. So what was it like seeing? Were you able to see a lot of kind of what was happening backstage during Dynamite, just kind of being a wallflower and all that kind of stuff like that?
Yeah, it was a well-run a well-run ship. They had guys running, letting guys know the cues, letting guys know what was going on, sitting at they call it the dusty position, I believe, and versus Gorilla, and they had the big TV. Everyone was around enjoying it. Yeah. I was sitting back there with the other extras and the other talent, and just enjoying the experience overall. I was trying to pick Arn Anderson's brain, trying to pick JR's brain before the show started. I tried to chat with Jake Roberts a little bit, but he was focusing on his role in the show, which was absolutely phenomenal. Mm-hmm. And afterwards, when he was done after my match, Jake probably gave me the best, compliments he could give me. And that was the highlight of my experience, was just chatting with Jake afterwards.
Oh, that's very awesome. So let me ask you, personally, did you, knowing what was happening backstage and everything like that, and we kind of got to get a little bit of a sneak peek and breaking news. Well, it kind of was out there too, but did you get a personal pop knowing that Dustin and Gino were under the masks per se for the whole night, that were attacking Moxley towards the end of the night?
Yeah, it was. It made me chuckle because I think Gino was supposed to be Sammy, and Dustin was supposed to be Jake Hager under the mask. That's who they were trying to portray.
Yeah.
And Dustin's a big guy too. He's built like a barrel. But I'm looking at Jake Hager. I'm like, Dustin, you're like a foot shorter than the guy. This guy's a mountain.
Right.
I'm going to be repeating myself. There's not one bad experience I had. Hager, Jake was awesome, joking around, like one of the nicest guys, and it's not that surprising. The true badasses in professional wrestling normally are some of the nicest guys.
Yeah, that's true, right? Yeah, because it gives them a good balance to let everything out and like you said, just have fun with it.
Well, he doesn't have to flex on anyone because he knows, but yeah, he was just joking around. I'm just watching a guy in that good of shape walking around eating a chocolate chip cookie, cracking jokes. I was just like, okay, this is not what I expected, but I'm into it.
Right, yeah, it's very good. So let me ask you about this. So when you got picked, what was the conversation about, getting your getting music ready and getting a promo ready, or a entrance video together? What was that all like? Did they just all take care of that, or
they took care of all of it. They just asked, what's your general character? What do you wrestle like? Who are you? What's your vibe? They took me to the truck. They sampled that music and they were like, does this work? I'm like, you guys are asking me if this works? Like you could send me out to like high hopes and I would like try and make it work. Like they were more accommodating to myself than I ever thought they would possibly be. They let me use my name. They, my weight, my, birth city,
Mm-hmm.
they didn't give me some quick little name. They let me use my gear. It was they were very giving when it came to putting myself and Abaddon as well on not a national scale. And I know it was on YouTube, but it's 100,000s of views of Dark. So the whole overall experience was just shocking to me that they were that willing to put that exposure out there. But it's cool that they do that for the local talent. Yeah. They don't do it everywhere, but when they feel like it, they can give someone a really great experience and give them a rub.
Right. Yeah. Very, very true. So, what was it like getting ready, getting set up to walk through that tunnel?
Honestly, it felt like just another match. And the cool part about it is we had the Rumble at the Loud House, 2 months prior, and that was a comparable size crowd. So I just went out there and saw like, okay, it's the same size crowd. The nerves, if I hadn't have had that Rumble at the Loud House experience, I would have been a lot more nervous. But I know I had wrestled in front of a crowd that size. I was able to tell a good story in front of a crowd that size. And this match was a lot more simple of a story. Go out there and make Jimmy look like a killer. It felt great. And I was able to walk through that tunnel and just look at the screen. And obviously, it wasn't a thunderous pop, but it was cool to hear. There was enough people in the Denver crowd that have seen me work where I was hearing Corrente's and I was hearing my name getting yelled through the crowd. It was a pretty surreal experience.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. And like I've said, I think you heard, I saw your name pop up on the big screen. I was like, all right, Corrente. And then I went, oh shit, he's a heel. I gotta boo him.
Yeah, that seemed to be the prevailing thing. It was a lot of, oh yeah, oh wait, fuck this guy.
Right, but it was just so awesome. I mean, personally, I think you looked good. I mean, it was nice to see Jimmy give you a little bit of offense. Breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah. No, Jimmy was giving on that, and we were told, make Jimmy look good. Cool, no problem doing that, and I got no problem being given that way because I know Jimmy's a pro's pro. If the roles were reversed, he would do the same thing for me. I know he would because that's the beauty of professional wrestling. The more we give to each other, the more we all can succeed.
Right, yeah, awesome. Yeah, so once the match was completed, did you have a little bit of a sense of relief or accomplishment or what?
I rolled out and Jimmy and Luther had their post-match run in and a bit of storytelling. I just laid on the ground. I was proud. I was happy how it went. Everything felt good. Got to the back. Dustin was happy. Jimmy was happy. A lot of people came up to me and said, you made him look good. Congrats. Jake Roberts, I walked up to him. And he was like smiling. He goes, he was just very complimentary. You made him look good. You were giving. You didn't look like you died. You looked like you belonged. And that was the best compliment. Saying that I looked like I belonged out there was because you've seen squashes and enhancement matches in the past where you're looking and it's some guy in there. It's like, this can be bad. Being told that I looked like I didn't look out of place is a good compliment.
Right. Yeah. Awesome. So did you have to quickly, basically after you got back to the back, find a TV monitor because did you know that Abaddon was following you up the next match?
Yeah. Once you walk through the back, you move a little to the right, and there's where the TV and everyone was sitting, and I plopped right down to show support to Abaddon and sat with Heidi and Atiba as well, and just enjoyed watching that. And absolutely killed it. Proud of her. I've helped slightly with Abaddon's training, and I do take a lot of pride in seeing her succeed that way. So couldn't be happier for her.
Yeah, and what was personally, what did you think of the Abaddon and match that she had?
It was excellent. The agent of her match, and she, if you get her on here, she could obviously tell you more details about it. But Kenny Omega was their agent, and they put together something that just made her character shine because she has one of the best characters I've seen in a while. And no, she's not a copycat, or she's not a cheap ripoff of whomever you want to throw out, as I've seen on the trolls coming out. She's put a lot of work into that character, and she's put a lot of her own self in that, like I have on mine. We all pour ourselves into who we are as performers, and to see it finally pay off for her in that way, as it paid off for me, it's the validation that we're doing something right.
Right. Yeah. And like I said on Twitter and stuff like that. Hey, trolls! That's a different universe. Just enjoy this and be happy that you're being able to watch something that's fantastic. So
absolutely, people are always going to try and tear you down if they can't do what they do or have the courage to try something. Yeah. So listening to them would be silly. It really would be.
Right. That's from Severino Corrente himself. You know, that's no bull. That's the plain sheet.
That ain't from Sever. That's from Alexander Corrente. I don't listen to the sheet.
Very, very true. So, did you after Abaddon had her match get to greet her backstage and all that stuff like that?
For about a split second, she was swept away by Kenny and Dustin to really, give her props of that. And afterwards, I just went and got changed. I sat down with the guys and just really enjoyed this experience overall. And it was just already reflecting on what it meant. And you know what? Even if my wrestling career ends now, it's just another thing on the list that I've done. I've done Extra Talent. I've had a match there. I've worked Make-A-Wish shows. I've worked big arenas. I have worked great crowds. I've been successful in multiple states. So at this point, I'm not looking to be done anytime soon. But if something happened where I had to be done, I'd look back on that as just another feather in my cap.
Oh, that's very good, very well way to look at it. So how did the night wrap up for you all?
Just nothing overly exciting. We all got changed up. The rest of the show ended. We were, a few people came up to us, congratulated us. We, signed, the necessary paperwork, and we were just sent on our way because they were about 50 workers came in to tear down that set and go, and they were in full get out of there mode.
Yeah.
Some of the guys were hitting downtown, going partying. Glad they could do that before Denver gets shut down in a little bit. But it was just get out of there, go home and have a drink and just kind of enjoy the rush.
Oh, yeah. Very cool. So wrapping up from there to anticipate AEW Dark on YouTube for the upcoming Tuesday. How did that go for you, waiting for that to premiere there?
There was a lot of hype, obviously, especially from the people I know in wrestling. We're really trying to promote it up, and I knew the match would look good. I was curious to hear what the commentary over it would say. Overall, it was just cool to see. It was cool for my friends and family to be able to see it throughout the country and just see me do my thing out there.
Right. So how did how did you think that looked there on AEW Dark with getting, you said you met Taz for a brief moment, but then how was that like hearing him call your match?
It was cool. I've had the pleasure. My first ever match, Kevin Kelly was a special guest commentator when I wrestled Anaya about 2.5 years ago.
Yeah. So
it was like that. It just Taz for me is one of the most underrated and undervalued color guys that has done this in years. Great insight. Obviously the man knows what he's doing. He's got a great voice for it too. It's very unique. So hearing him and it wasn't about me, but hearing him say my name and hearing him talk about the match overall, it was cool. It again, just that validation that the hard work I've put in is paying off.
Yeah, and for me, when I watched it, it was very cool to see your name on that AEW masthead, and it says AEW debut. I mean, what did that feel for you when you saw that?
And hopefully I'll be back.
That's what I was thinking too. So yeah, next time they swing around or swing close by.
Next time I'll be there, it'll say 0-1 on AEW. So.
Yeah, very cool. All right, so the experience sounded it was very cool, and like you said, you felt very grateful to have that experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I couldn't again. If the people listening to this were expecting some kind of juicy details or expecting some kind of negativity, none. It's like Kenny Omega was awesome, very personable. Dustin Reynolds is one of my favorite people in wrestling at this point. He couldn't have been more accommodating. He couldn't have been more congratulatory. One of the most down to earth, most genuine people I've met in the sport. Jake was great. Arn Anderson was just unreal to meet him in person, because guys like William Regal, guys like Arn Anderson, guys like that old throwback Styles, who I've tried to base a lot of my wrestling off. I try not to be fancy. I try to keep it more realistic and a little bit more visceral, like those guys did. I try to with Jake Roberts, his wrestling was fantastic, but the way he would speak you into his character was the way I try and format my promos at this point. I want to take people on a journey every time I speak. So being able just to, rub shoulders with these guys was unreal. It really was. I've watched these guys for decades at this point. So.
Right. Yeah. Very, very cool. So then, from there, I guess we can, talk about, Abaddon got initial just like exploding there out on social media and especially Twitter and stuff like that. And you finally have gotten your little famous or infamous Twitter run too. How's what do you think of that? That you're getting a little bit of attention per se out there on that.
Move over, Joey Ryan.
Right, we got Corrente penis, as Danhausen may say, that kind of. So
yeah, it's I'll have to go get different. The gear was flattering in some ways, unflattering in others, and hey, you know what? To all those people that want to make jokes, tell you this very simply: it satisfies my lady, and I'd satisfy yours too. So if you want to keep talking trash, I'll make you suffer that way.
That's very well put. I love it. That's fantastic. All right. So, hey, I think that might be a great place to wrap that up. I do appreciate you coming on. People, wanted to continue to follow up with you on social media, where could they do that?
On Twitter at the Severino Core, and on Instagram at ASC, or it's AS Corrente, and my Facebook's personal, so piss off. But yeah, if you want to catch up with me, follow those. And if you really want to keep following my career, my home promotion is Rocky Mountain Pro. Follow us on Twitch. And I will be the rest of this year, unfortunately, with this COVID-19 pandemic, it's kind of throwing a wrench in the whole traveling thing. But once this all clears up, and it will clear up, ladies and gentlemen, stay safe, treat people with kindness and courtesy, and this will blow on past. You will expect to see Severino Corrente continuing his run.
Right, it's just gonna fuel the fire for Severino Corrente.
Yeah, I'm gonna be pent up by the end this is all done, because oh god, it's gonna a lot of us are gonna be cooped up. So
yeah, exactly.
This will be interesting when this all blows over.
Right. Yeah. Awesome. All right. Once again, I do appreciate you, and I thank you for coming on to RMP Radio.
Absolutely, man. Thank you, Artie, as well.
once again, a big thank you to Severino Corrente for once again gracing us with his appearance here on RMP Radio and talking about his experience there with AEW and AEW Dark. If you guys want to watch that match and all the matches there on AEW Dark, that's the March 10th episode of AEW Dark. You can see his as well as another one of the Rocky Mountain Pro talents, Abaddon, on there. That would be great. And if you already have seen it, watch it again. All right, before we get out of here, let's pay some bills like they used to say back in the day. And as it is going around on the social media, kind of important if you guys can find yourself in a position. I know the current state of affairs is tough and taking a toll on everybody's life and experience, and we'll get through this. Just support each other, and like I said on my other podcast, if I can borrow a line from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, don't panic. So if you want to support your favorite Rocky Mountain Pro superstars, head over to the merch store over at rmpwrestling.com. Click on the merchandise link, or if you click on the search bar in your Amazon website or Amazon app and search for Rocky Mountain Pro, you'll be able to find all kinds of great merchandise there. If you don't see it, maybe just even ask your favorite Rocky Mountain Pro superstars. They may just not have a link there on that page and just hasn't been updated. So just get in contact with your favorite superstar and support them. All right, as the current state of affairs, of course, I do not have any events to plug for Rocky Mountain Pro, as things have been temporarily suspended just due to the suggestion from, of course, the CDC and, in our case, the state of Colorado. But in the meantime, we still do have episodes of Charged in the can, being edited and going to be out there on twitch.tv/Rocky Mountain Pro, on Fight TV through the app on your phone, tablet, Roku device, their website as well. You can watch. You can see all kinds of great stuff also on our YouTube page at youtube.com/Rocky Mountain Pro and ImpactPlus.tv, and returning into Right Now TV. In April, you'll be able to catch us as well. You want to follow us on the internet and all your social media. Everything does stem from the website at rmpwrestling.com, and on the Facebook, Twitter, and the Instagram, all of the name of the Rocky MTN Pro, and I'll phonetically spell that once again for you. That is the Rocky Mike Tango November Pro. And once again, thank you all for listening to this edition of RMP Radio, where pro wrestling is elevated.